Alexander the Great, born in 356 BC in the ancient kingdom of Macedonia, is remembered as one of the greatest generals and conquerors in human history, a man whose ambition, vision, and military genius reshaped the ancient world. The son of King Philip II and Queen Olympias, Alexander was educated by none other than Aristotle, who instilled in him a love of philosophy, science, and literature. But from an early age, his destiny was tied to war and leadership. At just 20 years old, after the assassination of his father, Alexander ascended to the throne of Macedonia, inheriting a strong army and a restless kingdom. Many expected him to fail, but he quickly demonstrated his ability by crushing revolts in Greece, most famously destroying the rebellious city of Thebes, an act that sent a clear message that he would tolerate no opposition. With Greece secured under his leadership, Alexander set his sights on an even greater goal, the conquest of the mighty Persian Empire in 330 BC. He led his forces across the Hellespont into Asia Minor, declaring that he would free the Greek cities from Persian control. His first major battle at the Granicus River was a resounding victory, showcasing his bold tactics and personal bravery. Over the next years, Alexander defeated the Persian king Darius III at Issus and later at Gaugamela, battles where he used his innovative phalanx formations, combined armed strategies, and lightning-fast cavalry charges to overwhelm far larger armies. After Gaugamela, the Persian Empire effectively collapsed, and Alexander marched triumphantly into Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis, the jewel of the Persian world, which he allowed to be burned in a symbolic act of conquest. Yet conquest alone was not his vision. Alexander sought to create a new world where East and West were united. He encouraged marriage between his soldiers and Persian women, adopted elements of Persian dress and ceremony, and founded more than 20 cities, the most famous being Alexandria in Egypt, a city that became a center of knowledge, trade, and culture for centuries. His campaigns stretched from Greece to Egypt through Persia and as far as India, where in 326 BC he fought the fierce battle of the Hydaspes against King Porus. Despite elephants and difficult conditions, Alexander again triumphed, showing his adaptability and determination. Yet his men, exhausted after years of campaigning, refused to march further into India, and Alexander reluctantly turned back, consolidating his vast empire. Though victorious on the battlefield, Alexander faced challenges in ruling such a diverse territory. Resistance, cultural clashes, and the sheer size of his empire created problems that no general could fully solve. In 323 BC, at the age of only 32, Alexander fell ill in Babylon and died, leaving behind no clear successor. His empire quickly fragmented among his generals, known as the Diadochi, who fought bitter wars over his legacy. Yet the mark Alexander left on history was permanent. His conquests spread Greek language, art, and ideas across 3 continents, creating what is known as the Hellenistic Age, a period of cultural blending where Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and Indian influences mixed to produce advances in science, philosophy, art, and architecture. Alexander's military strategies are still studied today. His use of speed, discipline, and flexibility allowed him to defeat enemies who outnumbered him many times over. He personally led charges, inspiring loyalty and fearlessness among his troops, and his charisma bound his men to him even through hardships. Although his empire did not last intact, the diffusion of Greek culture shaped the Mediterranean and Near East for centuries, influencing Rome and laying foundations for Western civilization. Alexander the Great remains a figure both admired and debated. Some see him as a visionary who sought to unite humanity, others as a ruthless conqueror driven by pride. But all agree that his achievements in little more than a decade of campaigning remain unmatched in scale and impact. From a young king of Macedonia to master of an empire stretching from Greece to India, Alexander carved his name into history as the greatest general of all time.